This video is brought to you in part by Safety Step. Fight the slip. Hola amigos, today, so excited. I got David Woodruff. Oh my god, you guys, we are about to get a VIP tour at the Hollywood Museum. Studio ADI set up an exhibit.
30th anniversary.
From now up till when you watch this, you might still have a little bit of time, but it's like
End of the year. End of the year.
January, guys. So if you're local, even if you're not local, make the trip down here to the Hollywood Museum and you're gonna see in person the stuff that we're gonna check out today. David has so graciously, like we've been talking back and forth, and we were talking about doing this last month, but I was like, you know, let's just do it when we're not both in a hurry. I really want to pick
October's a big one.
Yeah, October was not a good month. He was busy, like I bet throughout the whole month of October.
Yeah.
Universal, Warner Brothers. Oh yeah, they had a maze too.
Yeah, it's their second year, and I departmented their makeup.
That's awesome. I saw like some videos, like Arkham, all of that. Man, that was so fun. Well, we're gonna walk around today. We got King Kong behind us, but we're gonna get to like the crazy stuff.
This is part of our exhibit.
It is part of your exhibit?
It is, yeah.
Oh my god.
This was built at ADI as a personal project of one of my dad's. For the most part, the hands and the front half of the main body here is all out of the original molds of the Don Post King Kong that was done back in the 60s with Don Post and John Chambers.
Oh, that was an actual like full size. It wasn't like the miniature.
No, they based it all off of the this statue over here, which was a maquette that I believe Marcel Delgado did for the original King Kong. And so they used that as a reference to build a full-size figure that's supposed to go around to like wax museums and such. So a few years ago, they got a hold of, they were given the existing original molds. They filled in the blanks a little bit, and they threw this together just kind of as a proof of concept display piece.
Oh, Lord. I know your dad, he seems to really like King Kong and stuff. I've seen him post things about it.
Yeah.
Man, that's a beauty. Yeah, no wonder. It's like in great shape, so it would have to be like something that was like remade, right?
Yeah. They only ever actually made one or two of these things ultimately, and the original you can still see at a wax museum in Niagara Falls.
Wow, never been. I gotta go one of these days. That's so awesome, man.
Yeah, so it's actually this piece that has the gel coat on it. Still existed.
Is that like fiberglass?
Yeah,
like
that was a big fiberglass, but then the hands, for whatever reason, were big two-piece stone molds. And they at least survived to get these ones out. I don't know if they survived because they were in bad shape, but the main front half of the mold's still over at the shop.
Superhero land right here.
Yeah. They just opened up their world's finest exhibit. And I think this is going to be a permanent exhibit here. And then their 66 Batman exhibit runs all the way around here, and this is a temporary, it's all private collectors contributed stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. And then they got the 66 Batmobile over here?
This is my dad's Batmobile.
Is it for real?
Yeah.
Did you like grow up like with this at your house or what?
It was at his shop, but
oh my god, you guys.
The body for this thing was like raw fiberglass was suspended up in the ceiling of the shop, all the way back when we would take like third grade tours through the shop. It was like a 6-year build, but everything down to the smallest detail is all accurate. He would even go into George Barris's place and do rubbings of this grill work and send it up to a steel place to have all the proper stampings cut out. The steering wheel was milled out of stainless steel. All the lights and everything work. The bat ray goes up and down. It shoots fire.
Oh, no way.
There's a VCR in the car. So the screen in the front is a backup camera, but also will play videos.
No way. Does it drive?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
We drove it. We would take it through the Hollywood Christmas parades sometimes. And we drove it to the parade. There's a video up I just shared one from like 3 years ago of us on the 118 freeway with it.
Oh my god, man.
We've had it at Warner's in front of the City Hall.
It's amazing. Like, bucket list city for me today.
It's such a sexy car. I mean, even if you're not Batman,
right?
You're like...
And these are original costumes from the show.
Oh, no way. I was just talking about this with somebody, how when you're talking screen accurate, you're talking a little bit of color correction, a little bit of post work, and when you're talking like real deal, you're surprised sometimes for how like colors actually differ from what you thought.
Well, this is all over time too. And you can see it. It's funny how it starts to get less and less as you go down. But the gloves and trunks and the cowl were all made out of the same custom dyed stretch satin. So the more sunlight it got, the more it started to go purple. It all matched the cape at the time. It was a much more accurate color, but because of sun damage and everything else, and also over time, all of the glue holding it all to the fiberglass undershell has all started to release, and that's why it's gotten all kind of
it's a little bigger on the
crazy
on the head.
In fact, the Batman that they have over in their World's Finest exhibit, the Batman and Robin suit, they were made by a guy named Chuck Williams, who's just absolutely incredible. I sent the down payment on my first piece of a suit.
No way.
All of his stuff was patterned off of these suits, and he has a big bolt of the original stretch satin from the 60s that he's just running through. You know, so like down to a T. He just found another cowl that was still all pristine because it had been painted a couple of times for different appearances, different episodes and stuff. It was the initially it was painted pink for the Mad Hatter episode.
Okay.
And then instead of trying to clean that off, they painted it back to this again. So it was encased in this rigid thing, and they scanned it, and they started 3D printing it. So now his shells for his new cowls are off of a scan of an original. Like everything is just down to a T. I mean, just
let's
to
go
look
at that real quick.
Right.
Yeah, let's go look at that.
You
wow, so it's almost
the
like
original colors would have looked like back in the day.
It's almost like the people that rebuild DeLoreans with like the DeLorean parts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can see the colors, but even down to like the stitching around the cuffs of the gloves matches, and I love the texture and the fabric of Robin's shorts.
Oh yeah.
Like you never really see that on TV, but it matches the original over there.
That's true, and that's kind of like that scaly design from the comics.
Yeah. Yeah, so Chuck's stuff is just excellent.
Yeah.
He also does the Adam West heads, which was done off of a scan of Adam that he, like, I believe he clay poured it. He went in, he cleaned it up, and he de-aged it a little bit. But it's all off of a scan of Adam
Is that
West.
how tall he was in real life?
No, I don't think so.
Looks pretty tall.
That's
almost as tall as Reeves.
I know.
Yeah. And Lena Carter. Man, so cool. Oh man, beautiful, beautiful stuff. What else do they have up here?
Some of my dad's stuff floating around in here, stuff he's collecting.
So your dad's like an
cool.
avid collector as well.
He is, yeah, very much so. In fact, I'm in the process of brokering a deal for an old 60s Ideal toy that I tracked down through somebody from this museum, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
But that black and white photo is his. That was off an original negative from the shoot for the cover of Life magazine.
Okay, cool.
And this old metal copper Batman head mold was his. He picked that up from, I think that was an Ideal toy company piece
that's
too.
the mold, and that's
one of the casts, but it's from those puppets. So it's like a cloth body with a rubber head. So that's one of the original production molds.
That's insane. It was like a copper mold.
And I think they ran vinyl, but that's a latex cast. And then this big vacuum form display for the old Aurora model kits is his. And it's just like in this industrial acrylic case because it's so fragile. They said they made
plastic
these
or is it
vacuum
tin?
form. It's a vacuum form plastic sign from the 60s. So they sent these out all over to different grocery stores and stuff. There must have been a million of them, but because of the fragile nature and stuff, like it's like stuff that we would go into Blockbuster and ask them for.
The stuff you see like
throw it away.
At Target and stuff, and they just like throw it away.
So, as far as he has researched, there's only a handful, like literally like 5 to 6 of these things still around.
You know, he's probably gonna be in one episode of Comic Book Man one of these days. Like
probably,
like they're like, yeah, because you know how they do, like, you know, they try to sell it, but they're really not trying to sell it. But it's like you talk about the value.
Trying to talk them out of it.
Yeah, you talk about the value of the piece, the history. That is so awesome. Are you excited for the new Joker? What do you think? What are your thoughts on Joaquin's take so far?
I can't speak to that because I've heard things and I've talked to people that
Oh, you might know like more than you should.
Yeah.
Or more than we should.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. I also have like some theories as well, but yeah, we'll try to keep it spoiler free.
Yeah.
Man. So campy, but so awesome.
I know. There's something so classic about it. I had a couple cool conversations right here with Lee Merriweather.
Oh, really?
Who played Catwoman in the movie.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry if I'm in your way.
Oh, no worries. As long as you don't mind, like,
this is
being on
my
camera.
Era. You know, I grew.
It was my dad's era.
Is that your dad's era? That's so amazing. Is your dad one of the musicians on the show, or you just
That was just
that he acquired? That's awesome.
Yeah, he's building a bat cave into the basement of his house in Pennsylvania. The whole thing's custom. So he's got a 1/24th scale model in the garage right now, but the atomic reactor is going to be in there. His bat computers. Oh, that's his bat computer up top, and it's going to have bat poles to the study, and I mean it's a whole thing. So
So now we are on the second floor, and I believe this entire floor is Studio ADI stuff.
Yeah, second floor at the Hollywood Museum is the 30th anniversary of Amalgamated Dynamics. We title it 30 Years of Makeup, Monsters, and Magic.
And there's Daddy. There's your pops with Alex. That's so cool. And everybody, is that everybody
This is a filmography.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's by no means all of them, but just a selection of a lot of the more recent and bigger movies that they've done over the years.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man
my
2.
favorite Spider-Man film.
Death Becomes Her, Demolition Man, Mortal Kombat, Wolf, Alien 3,
Mortal
Point
Kombat.
Break. Tremors,
That video that I think it was your dad or Alex put up of Goro, like that
There's
puppet.
Some of that flying over here. We've actually got some of the original Goro animatronics in the display.
No way. That's awesome. If you guys don't know who Tom is, David's father, you've seen him, like guaranteed, like all the way from like back in what was it, like he's been a classic like Universal
He's been
monster.
doing the suit performing stuff since he was at Stan Winston. So he played Pumpkinhead in the first Pumpkinhead, and he was the Gill Man in Monster Squad.
Yeah, but that's what I'm like saying, like all the way from Monster Squad in the 80s up till like Sorry for Bothering You, like a crazy horse creature just now. So he's always been like a performer.
I think we have one of the Eco Sapiens.
Oh my god, dude, that movie was nuts. All right, so let's like take our time here. Oh, is this a video? Oh, this is not.
This is from a sitcom back in 1990 called What a Dummy.
That is crazy. I've never heard of this.
It's
very
had
obscure.
only heard about it in passing. I still want to find it. I still want to see it. I looked up the opening sequence to it because I worked with somebody that was in it recently. And so while we were in the trailer, I pulled up the opening to the show and just played it in the background.
You know what I thought it was? I thought it was from those videos that they've been putting up, the ones where it's like the Chucky reboot and it's like the old puppet that's all
Billy.
like mad.
No, Billy is still in the shop. He's got episodes to shoot.
That series is hilarious.
It's pretty good. I love that.
Kevin,
and they got Kevin Yeager
not get out of the
involved.
far, dude. Awesome. So we got a lot of animatronic pieces here.
Yeah, so this is the animatronics section. We've split it up into different kind of categories. But this is the mechanical understructure for the flying reindeer from Santa Claus 2. I believe his name was Chet. So this was made to go through and do the running motions of a reindeer, and it was suspended on essentially a big crane arm that would go about 30 feet in the air on the soundstage in front of a green screen, blue screen, with Tim Allen strapped on top of it.
Gosh.
So he would look like he was riding the
Man,
reindeer.
and there's like the all the way down to the hooves and everything. Like,
Yeah, some of the fur and
whole
the,
thing
the
is
cast hooves are still in there, but
and that's what it looked like when it was like skinned and.
yeah. Yeah, there were like bean bags and foam pads and everything on it to build up the muscle groups, and then the fur over top.
Good lord, the amount of like machining and engineering that goes into these pieces. I mean, it's like the practical effects, but really it's so much more work in my, like, I don't know, I'm no expert, like I can't even speak to like what CG entails, but like this to me looks like a lot of work. Like,
well, it's funny, I mean it is, but they both are. Digital in many, if not most cases, is more expensive.
Yeah,
in the long run.
that's what I mean. Like it's more expensive,
but it's more expensive on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing that I find or have found lately, is that they'll opt to use that to save money up front, make their days, not have to worry about working with these things on the day, and then it becomes the post-producer's problem at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So on paper, on the day, they've saved money and gotten out fast and done everything else, but did they really?
Yeah, and I mean, nothing beats, you know, like even in the performance, the actors, like looking at the real thing, like having it in front of them.
Oh, here's the reindeer actually gone.
Oh, look at that.
And then this is probably one of my favorites recently, was from Zookeeper. That's a full practical suit with a lip sync animatronic head, and these TGI Friday sequences are just incredible. It's even silently, you know, the emotion that he has right there.
Is that your dad?
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, and this was all set up so that they, it was almost, it's a great combination of everything, right? Of just the history of this business is, it's old school animation, essentially. They went in and pre-recorded all of Nick Nolte's dialogue, and then went back into a computer and pre-did all of the controls, and they were all saved in a computer.
Like matches the
so, yeah, and it was all done ahead of time, like months ahead of time. So they would be on set, live puppeteering the gorilla. Kevin James would say a line, they'd push a button on this computer system, and it would replay these pre-recorded dialogues. So every take was consistent and matched up with Nick's dialogue. And then as soon as that was over, it would go back to live, and they could do their ad-libs and anything else, but...
Man.
Brain freeze? They even did a bit with this on, I think it was Jay Leno's show, as promo for this movie, with Kevin and the gorilla.
That is so cool. Yeah, man, look at that. Like, he's like, you know, interacting, like hugging it and everything. It's like, it's right there. They can like work off of each other. And this is the head up here, right?
That's their stunt head.
Oh, okay. It doesn't have any of the
This one doesn't.
animatronics inside.
We brought in the animatronics at our gala opening, and they were on and functioning and doing stuff.
That's a beautiful, like, you know, all the hair and everything, like the hair punching, and it's just, it looks so natural.
Yeah, the hair work still gets me. That's one thing that I don't enjoy handling. The hair.
Yeah, man.
This is a fun one. This is one of the Meryl Streep bodies from Death Becomes Her.
Yeah, I love that movie. So this was when they put she has a hole in her stomach. Or?
No, that was Goldie Hawn.
Oh, that was that's right.
This is Meryl with her head turned around.
It's when she turns the head like.
There's vacuum forms of her face, still kind of looking around.
Oh,
the back.
when she like breaks her neck and it's just like hanging off of her.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And so that was a combination. That was very early on in the kind of green blue screen stuff. So there was a chunk of stuff in it with a stunt performer in a blue hood with an animatronic Meryl head laying over her back.
Yeah, and she was like talking and stuff.
And it was intercut with puppet stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And I do remember that as one of the first like instances where you were like, "What the hell is going on?" Because like it was so believable back then.
Yeah.
And it was that combination of both. And you got the Goro over here that you were talking about. Oh no, that's actually, what is this?
This is Goro.
Oh, it is Goro. Yeah.
Yeah. So back up here, this is the actual animatronic body that my dad wore when they shot. So this would all sit. His head would be up inside the chest. And do the lower arms. He's wearing this around, and there was a performer off camera wearing, it's called a telemetry suit. So what he would do wearing this rig would be mimicked by the animatronic upper arms.
So, weird question, but I feel like I'm personally curious because like I'll go to the gym and be like sore to hell. Like, has he ever had like any back problems or anything like that from like wearing like all this like heavy stuff over the years? Or?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
He
like
knows
long
how
term,
to wear it.
You know, but yeah, between knowing how to wear it and knowing how to build it.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, when all was said and done, I think Goro was about 200 pounds. But it was set up to distribute that weight, you know, almost like a big hiking backpacker. So, you know, it's dispersed. And then they had slings and stuff that he could lay it back into in between takes. So it wasn't, you know, there's...
And yeah...
They planned for it.
I remember seeing a video or something where they were talking about this movie Return to Oz and how the Tin Man, it's like a little ball, but they didn't use a little person for it. It was a full-grown kind of like contortionist that had to like just kind of crouch down like that and just kind of walk. Mm-hmm. And they would have to cut often to have him kind of stand up because otherwise he's like encased in this like tin armature. So I've always wondered, like, for creature performers, like, has that ever like turned into like a long-term problem? But I guess you kind of have to like trust your team too to let you.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
To like not let you die in there.
It's a huge trust exercise.
Oh my lord! But it's so cool too, dude. Like, I mean, even. You know, like, I bet your dad loves the creature performing.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have been doing it all this time.
It's the prep of the Zod body for Dawn of Justice.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this video on their channel, yeah. Did they have to, since they used the silicone body, but it was the likeness of the actor, do you think
the body came from a stunt guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But the head is the
head was cast off of Michael Shannon, but it wasn't. We didn't do it. We borrowed it from another shop that had done something else with him.
I wonder though, like, I mean, he still has to get like paid even though he's not even in the movie.
I mean, yeah, to some, I don't know what their deal was, you know.
Yeah, I remember with that Back to the Future thing, like now that you're using likenesses, you kind of have to get like paid and stuff. Man, so crazy, dude. I wonder where it is now. What collector has that body now in there?
Probably Warner Brothers. I don't think they're much of a collector. One of Tim Allen's hair sets.
Oh, nice.
I believe it's Santa Claus 2.
That's so cool. And then
Ripley. Sigourney Weaver pieces.
Man. That's beautiful. Is that how tiny she is? Like,
yeah, that's off of her life cast. Yeah. I think that may have been when they cast her for Alien Resurrection.
She always seems like so tall and everything, but it looks like it's like she's very petite somehow. Like her head, she looks like small.
Hair fills in a lot.
Yeah, hair. That's right. Oh my god. What is this guy right here?
In the middle?
Yeah.
This is the Wolfman from the Vampire's Assistants. This is another stunt head, but in the Cirque du Freak movie, there's a Wolfman character.
Oh my god.
He's very dog-like.
Yeah, he's like the eyes. Like I felt him like staring at me from the side. And this is the Equisapien. Sorry to bother you.
That's one of the hero heads. So it's still got his skull cap and all of the cables and everything in it.
Dude, this movie was so crazy. I loved it though. You guys have to see the movie to understand. What is this guy?
This was from Fire City, End of Days, which was a short that we shot to promote the feature. We have our trailers playing up here, but this was my dad's first feature directing project.
Oh, cool.
So this is one of the first projects that I got to shop supervise and department head on. So we did, I ran the makeup team on set.
That's so cool. I thought it was like maybe like an elephant man like skeleton or something.
It's kind of what they were going for, like stylistically. But yeah. It's almost like a demon cell phone.
Oh my gosh. Well, all right. So there's like so much stuff.
Yeah, this whole thing is all of kind of like basically the end of the line of everything that's being finished and ready to go to camera. It's probably a solid 85 or 90% of their display room is now in this building. Most of it is display copies, but much of it is our original props.
I guess so.
Original pieces.
Every time I move, one of my biggest fears is like breaking something from my collection. How
I
nerve-wracking.
can show you broken
Oh
pieces.
no, it'll break my heart, man. Like how nerve-wracking is it to like move these things around from place
the
to
newborn
place?
here is top heavy as all hell.
Oh my gosh.
And she'd actually be put up on a winch system. We've got one of those rigs, you know, that you'd use to like pull an engine out of a car. And so they were strapped into that on top of fold-up tables on a big rolling. I mean, it was a thing, and we were really nervous about putting stuff up because so much of this is bolted into the wall in the display room. You know, you can see the pipe behind the newborn, but here we're moving it into the old Max Factor building, and all of the walls are basically plaster and chicken wire.
Oh yeah.
So there's no studs. So we had to make all of these stands because none of this could go into the wall because it would just split out of the wall. The beauty, we lucked out with the newborn because we weren't putting a weight on the wall that's supporting it from falling over backwards. So like we totally lucked out with the newborn.
Gosh. Good Lord. And then you got like, I think I saw, was this the same that was at Monster Palooza?
I don't remember if this came to Monster Palooza. We
like
had it at
full
Comic
scale.
Con in 2003.
So awesome.
Just out on the floor, and it was dwarfed by people. It looked tiny.
Yeah, man. I really like this movie actually, Alien vs. Predator. It was actually pretty entertaining. I saw it at the theater, and I remember, like, I love like movies, you know, just like the popcorn movie, you know, what I mean? Like actually like the big spectacle of it.
I got to go to the premiere with a couple of friends from high school.
Nice.
And talked to Paul Anderson about the movie afterwards.
That's so cool.
I have a fun idea with that I'm gonna do pretty soon.
Man. Also another head.
That.
Yeah, another head that looks like smaller, like in person and stuff. Oh, and then you got this creepy bastard.
Oh, her too.
Annabelle.
It's the Beast suit from X-Men First Class.
Very cool.
It's wearing one of the stunt masks. Screen-used wardrobe, screen-used suit. They had, I don't know, like 6 or 8 of these things, but all of that hair is custom dyed fox fur.
Oh, it's like actually
that was shaved off of the pelts and then punched into each suit. So all of it, the entire suit was all hand punched.
Good Lord. It's awesome though.
This was a creature that was cut from the end of the Thing prequel. Among other stuff that was all painted over, this was painted over and redesigned completely. So it was
this is the one that they made like kind of like a reboot with like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I think, right? Like the female.
This would have all been when they go back to the ship.
Oh, okay.
This was the creature that was supposed to attack them at the end. And they turned it into that big, like, Leviathan-looking digital.
I gotta watch that movie again, actually.
No, you don't. Here's a bunch of their 50s monsters on set for Looney Tunes back in action.
Dude, how fun.
Fighting with Brendan Fraser. And Joe Dante there in the bottom right.
Man. Is that popcorn in there?
Yeah, so here, this is this character over here. This was a modern take on the a character called the Man from Planet X, an old 50s movie. And so basically in Area 52,
okay.
all of these creatures are there in like giant mason jars, and they get loose. And so they're fighting Bugs and Daffy and Brendan and the team, and Bugs pops open this box that had absolutely no point back in the 50s in the movie. It was like, he pops it open, puts a bag of popcorn in and shuts it, and it goes off, and it starts filling the head shell with popcorn.
That's so cool. Man, that's hilarious. And then these guys from the Netflix
Bright
movie.
So the Joel Edgerton Jacoby makeup was all handled by Chris Nelson.
Paint job is so cool.
It was a great design he came up with, and he spent a lot of time working it out.
Yeah, it's so genius that like it's hard to imagine it any other painted any other way once you see it. It's so cool. Oh, and don't forget to follow Alec.
Yeah.
Where's your...
His is over here. There's a couple of them. They're all scattered around.
Follow Tom.
That was fun peppering them in after the fact.
Yeah. Hey, man. It's good. It's good to have a social media thing going. It's a good way to interact with all the fans. And one of the big bugs. Was this like used in the film too?
A majority of it was. Throughout the course of production, stuff would get broken or stuff would be made to do something specific and wasn't usually part of it, so they kind of kit bashed one back together as a display piece. So there are some replica pieces and some that were from different bugs, but I mean...
I would say it's like such a great underrated movie, but at this point, I think it's very much appreciated now. Like
I think a
lot of people
come back.
Yeah, now
video.
People really like. I hardly ever hear anybody say that they don't enjoy this movie.
There are people who love this movie.
Yeah, there's a big fandom.
But this is one of them that was built up on a crane, and they made them able to pick up stunt guys. Wow, swing them around. So all of that was practical.
Oh my God, it's like. It's so believable, even though I know he's not getting like bit. Like I'm kind of feeling the pain in the legs.
Yeah.
Molds.
Yeah, so a lot of this, like with the concept design or sculpture area and a molding area, and these are more kind of like educational, more than anything else. So we pulled out empty resin bins and crap from the shop to kind of dress it to look like the shop at any given time. But some of the stuff's pretty cool. Like we pulled out one of the original what's her name? Meryl Streep. The Meryl Streep mold.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Death Becomes Her.
Yeah, this is the...
And that's one of the castings
what
out
you
of
were
it.
talking about on the other hand. You know what? Until you said her name, I couldn't recognize her.
What's the funny thing? When you
You
get
were
rid of
right about the
eyebrows
hair.
and hair and everything else.
I mean, for a moment, I thought it was like Tilda Swinton, but that's because like that's what she looks like. Just regular.
Tim Allen over here.
Oh, yeah.
We got Joel Edgerton up here with the Matrix mold that we've made for him when we were doing Bright. Nick Holt down in the corner from X-Men.
Yeah. So tiny too.
And then there's a huge selection of display face cast up along this wall, and these are all generally on the wall of the makeup room.
So cool. Yeah, I recognize some of these faces.
Second in from the left on the top row is Josh Brolin from Hollow Man before he was Cable. And then
that's right.
on the other side of Joel Edgerton is Ryan Reynolds from the first time he played Deadpool. So we basically have Deadpool and Cable on the wall in there.
That's so cool. That's right.
And then
Just
Robert Patrick's
with one
over here.
person in between.
Yeah. Robert Patrick's there, so a much older T-1000. Ken Watanabe was in Batman Begins. And these are all things that we had nothing, just other projects. But it's so funny to put them all together. There's a Nicholson, a Pfeiffer, and Christopher Fairbank up here in the center with a very cool-looking character face. All three of them were in Keaton Batman movies.
Yeah. That's right, man. You can play a whole game of like 6 degrees of separation with just like face casts.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could like tie together the whole collection, and whoever does that faster is the winner. And that's cool. You got some claws up here.
Yeah, Wolverine claws, bone claws, and the adamantium. And then a lot of this kind of shelf is all about kind of finishing bits and accessories. So we have all of our teeth, our veneers, our contact lenses, fake eyes.
That's so cool. Oh, man. Oh, dude, you got that, like, the concept goblin over there. Oh my God, everybody's heart breaks when they see the videos of this. It's like, what could have been? Oh my gosh. And the
and
poster.
that's all the original Chavant. So it's like you can see some cracks over his brow line.
Man, that's a piece, dude. That's like, man, yeah, you guys have to like mold that or something if you haven't. I'm sure, yeah, you have to, dude, because that's, you don't want that to be gone when that breaks. And then the poster with the Twin Towers. I have one of those.
I have one of those too. That was a funny one because I thought it was gonna be crazy, like rare, and they pulled them all.
Yeah.
And I was in like high school, and I went and I spent like $300 on a custom frame for it and everything, you know. Sometime within the last year, I was at a bigger comic book shop, and I saw one on the wall. And I was like, oh shit, I wonder what that's going for. And I went up, it's like a $50 poster, and they had like 8 of them. And I was like, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people went with like even the comic book with the superheroes helping out and stuff. Like,
yeah,
like this is going to be worth so much money. Maybe it will one day, but right now there's like enough to go around. Awesome. Well, this was the floor that's all studio.
This is
that
an
an
unused
a
original
Nessie?
casting of Ray Harryhausen's dragon from the 7th Voyage of Sinbad.
Oh, I thought there was like glass up here though, so that I could get in there. But wow, how old is this piece now, and how is it still intact?
The poster, when did it? 1956.
Wow.
56, 58.
Yeah, you have to handle this thing with love, I guess.
Yeah, we're speaking with Tom Spina about getting it in his hands.
Yeah, getting it restored and stuff.
At the very least, just preserved.
Yeah, they did such a great job over there.
Yeah, everything that they do, man, is just.
It's hard to believe, like some of the stuff when you see the after, you're like, for real, like wow.
Yeah,
that's so.
well, even
cool.
more so when you see them side by side.
Yeah, because foam latex, you know, when it goes, and then that's
Well, it
it.
depends on the mix of the rubber, and so
Yeah.
much stuff now has been so watered down and over chemicalized, and then there's a lot of stuff that's been discontinued because of how harmful that it is and everything else. Like
that's true. That's true.
I've been working with a set of some Keaton armor that was never mounted or painted or oiled or anything. And it's super dense, but it's still as soft as the day it was run because it's
It's
the
not
80s.
cracked.
They had better product, and
That's
then it
true.
was stored proper. And
That's
between
true.
the
That's
two of
true.
them-
Like lately, like in some molds that I've acquired, I there's like a little bit of foam pieces in there, and they're still pretty soft.
Mhm.
Like they're still like pretty good.
Got the Oscar up here.
Look at that! Oh man,
So this
is
is
that
back from-
at your house? At your dad's house?
No, this stays at the in the shop.
In the shop, man. Well, that's where
Saturns, BAFTAs.
Oh, man. Death Becomes Her. Starship Troopers. That's so cool, man.
I just put this in, which is cool. They have a couple licensed pieces now at their stores. You can get original
like maquettes and
maquettes, full-size newborn heads.
Wow. I gotta check that out. I actually have to check this out. Very much so.
This queen head, I think just for scale, there's a copy of it painted in the AVP colors over here. So that's it's a big piece.
Yeah.
It's from their quarter scale puppet.
Man, I definitely need like more space. My wife won't let me get out of the room, the little room I have. It's not little, but it's definitely overtaken at this point. And then you got like some licensed toys.
Yeah, they're just buying up. They keep a little shelf very similar to this in their display room. So since we set this up, I picked up some NECA official sponsored.
Please,
Fugitive
NECA.
Predator. They're Pennywise. They're coming out with some of the emissary predators that got cut from the Predator. So we picked some of those up, but they haven't been added in yet.
Man, that's so amazing. And then you have like some of the from
the,
like
the concept and design area. So all the frame pieces are normally on the wall in the display room. We brought in a bunch of just good reference stuff, some face casts and skeletons and bits all over that would be scattered around and used in the design stages.
I love
And
how
then-
they have the monster cans down here,
we
like
did. Sponsored. We threw a bunch of actual original design work on the floor and dumped empty energy drink cans on top. No, it was all very strategically placed,
yeah, it's like for
but-
those like sleepless nights. It's like, you know, they got to see the concert by the morning.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Coffee. Yeah, man. That's amazing. So that's everything on this floor, right?
Everything on this floor.
All right, guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick stroll through the rest of the exhibit. I'll get some B-roll, cut that in. But I'm starving. Are you hungry?
Getting
What
there,
time is
but
it?
it's
What
it's
time
like
is it?
1:15 or something.
Oh, really?
So, like,
is it
it's
1:15? What? My
So-
man's doing intermittent fasting, so we're not eating till 2. But look, I mean, this guy has lost some weight. Like, putting me to shame. I thought I was doing intermittent fasting, but I'm doing it wrong. I'm going up. What the hell am I doing, man? All right, man, well, let's walk.